recording.
Is it Thursday yet?
Is it Thursday? Good morning, everybody. With me, my special guest today is an illithid. Hang on. That's better.
Ah.
In celebration of the Baldur's Gate 2 stream, and it is time to eat some cheese. No,
Cheese!
Cheese! No, Ian is with me today. Oh, shit.
Oh,
That's terrible.
what a way to start. What
Oh,
is
that's
that
your
coming-
phone. That's your phone. Please turn all cell phones off during the broadcast. so professional. No, that's my headphones now.
What?
I'm pretty sure. There we
That's
go.
your phone. That's your phone.
Oh, it's still my phone.
Still your phone.
Please turn all cell
It's like-
phones off.
Hello, everyone. My name is Poppy Harlot. Mary Ham? PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
Yeah.
What is going on today?
Poppy Borger, or whatever
Wow, I have one phone on and you fly to pieces.
it is. It's true. Would you like some cheese, Ian?
I would love some cheese.
Okay, so today we've got a wide selection of cheeses for the cheese section of the show. Ian is going to be trying some Parmigiano Reggiano. I am going to be having some peppered Havarti, as well as a selection of Danish blue cheese and my favourite. I'm going to be comparing the Danish blue cheese to the Puhoi blue cheese, which is so Danish cheese versus New Zealand cheese. But first, so that I can't taste anything else for the rest of the day, I'm going to be having the peppered Havarti, which is super peppery. Like, it is almost ridiculously peppery. But if you're going to buy something which is a peppered something, you don't want a scattering of pepper.
It does look good.
So here's the peppered Havarti. It is so peppery that the outside of it is a smoky colour. So here goes. Holy shit. Wow.
Uh-huh.
So, I understand that some people find pepper quite difficult to eat. Like, it's like a chili.
Yep.
So I'm glad to say, because I'm not really a chili person, I'm a pepper person. So I can chew out, I'm a ghost pepper eating person. I'm happy to say that is very, very much for the pepper lovers. If you don't like peppers, don't eat that cheese, because it is just solid pepper flavour with a hint of cheese in the background. I suppose what I could do is strip away the pepper and just eat the cheese and see what the cheese tastes like. In about 3 hours after the pepper goes away.
Quick, smell your coffee.
I'm doing great today, Kevin. Thank you. It ain't easy been cheesy. Shiro Garath, an insane Daedric prince from Elder Scrolls. Man, it's been a long time since I played that version of Elder Scrolls. The Daedric princes. Did you ever play that, like Morrowind?
No.
Okay, so next up is...
I watched a lot of people play Morrowind.
Have you?
Yeah, looks cool. The speed runs are intense.
Oh, speed runs.
Yeah,
Oh, for closing gates and stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so next up is the Danish blue cheese. So this is pretty much the standard for blue cheese, really. Ian is not a blue cheese eater, so he's going to be bowing out of this one. I'm getting hiccups from the amount of pepper. It's really nice.
So glad that someone likes mold stuck inside cheese.
Well, that's penicillin.
Oh.
That's penicillin Rochefort. Is it Rochefort? It's from France, right? The penicillin from France that they make into cheese. Hello, Dragon Turtle. Hello, Daniel. Hey, Mark. Fiona. Glad you could join us, Fiona.
Blueberry lemon zest
Do
cake
I-
sounds amazing.
Yeah. Do I like Godzilla King of Monsters? I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a little bit of it. Unofficially.
Good word.
Yeah, I did go and see John Wick 3 and the dogs. The dogs in that movie are worth going and seeing that movie. Moldy cheese is the best cheese, yeah. Let's get a do it shout going. A do it for what?
Me eating the pepper cheese, I think.
No. My good friend Ian here is a super taster. So if you want to see somebody having some sort of a fit on cam, then that is how you would do it. But he is my best friend, so no, I'm not going to do that to him.
I don't know your audience, but I think most online audiences, if you say he would have a fit, is just going to increase the do it chorus.
Yeah. No, that is why I got this excellent Reggiano for Ian to eat, because I want him to actually enjoy himself and enjoy this cheese. Wow, that is so crystallized
Yeah.
that it made a scratching sound as I cut it.
Half of it is just crunch.
Yeah. Because cheese is to be enjoyed, not endured.
Nice.
Also, it's kind of an insult to the people who made the cheese to give it to somebody who doesn't enjoy that sort of cheese. I appreciate the work that they put into it. Okay, so here's the Puhoi blue cheese. It's less creamy, actually, than the Danish blue. It's been a while since I've had the Danish blue, and it's good to have them side by side at last. I think that the Puhoi is not as swamped underneath the blue flavour. You get more of a cheesiness and less of just a blue sharpness. Oh man, they're both equally good. The Danish is definitely a stronger blue cheese, but it's a mixed bag with the Danish blue cheeses. You don't know whether it's going to be like really, really strong or just sort of strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That concludes the cheese eating part of the show. Yeah, it's just coffee and D&D talk. So thanks to everybody who restrained themselves somewhat, because there was a bit of a social commentary from me, a little bit, on the Sphinx video, where I was basically saying that I was pointing out that there has been some editing of the physiology of the female Sphinx in 5th edition, obviously. And I'm just acknowledging that, really, but that's not what I'm going to do in my videos. As remember when we had the Harpy video and I was asking you as a community what you thought about basically putting boobs on monsters and things and having them depicted in the video as they are, and everybody was overwhelmingly, yes, do it, don't censor anything, blah blah blah. Because although this is a family-friendly channel, it's also almost entirely, the audience is almost entirely adults. So, over the age of 18.
Really?
Yeah, almost entirely.
Wow.
So, I'm perfectly comfortable talking about adult issues and subjects and things. And essentially anybody who comments on the videos with juvenile comments,
Her boobs.
then that's kind of your fault, not mine. Amigo, are you upset you just missed the cheese bit? How dare you? So, Kentucky Stout Cheddar Beer, cheese on pretzels. Well, Matt, you're just going to have to send me some.
It's cheese, it will keep.
Yeah. Don't say Naga. Yeah, no, I'm not going to, Jibble, it's fine.
What's the worst cheese you've ever tasted?
What is the worst cheese I've ever tasted? That would have to be the Marquise cheese. There's this it was just this goop that tasted like socks. Honestly, it was quite bad. I'm not sure if that was yeah, exactly, Green Scythe. With you're 35 years old, boobs shouldn't bother you anymore. Hey, Cat Jack. Oh, good. I'm glad that you got a notification. You're a 15-year-old in a 45-year-old body. I know what you feel like. For sure. I mean, well, that sounded wrong. I know how you feel.
I'm just glad you didn't notice what I did with the cheese.
What did you just eat some cheese? Oh no, you bit from the actual cheese.
Yep.
That's like double dipping at a party. Law accuracy. Yeah, exactly. I have seen the trailer for Baldur's Gate 3, so let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, so good.
All right, so first things first, from a lore point of view, that cerebromorphosis that happened to that guardsman, for those of you who haven't seen it, spoilers, that was way, way, way faster than cerebromorphosis.
Yeah.
Happens
Cerebromorphosis.
in the lore. In the lore, it takes days, weeks, even. Results may vary, but certainly not within moments.
Unless they know that everyone would know that, and it's some sort of thing where there's like an infernal engine which is harrying the process,
or it's a virus form of it. So my theory is, at the end of the video, we see in the background, being highlighted by strikes of lightning, there are lots and lots of Illithids floating through the air. So it's an invasion of Baldur's Gate by the Illithids. And then at the end of it, what a lot of people have said is, oh, it's an Elder God or something. No, that's a Nautilus attack ship up the top, I think. Or some sort of a Nautiloid ship with the big tentacle thingies in the sky. So I think they're actually releasing some sort of a spelljammery type pathogen, contagion or something. Or possibly there's some sort of advanced invasion force with advanced tadpoles that can metamorphosize somebody really quickly. So it's okay. I mean, from a dramatic point of view, it makes sense to put that sort of thing in the because it's the coolest.
Yeah,
it's the most horrible, but it's also the coolest.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and in moments, it really illustrates exactly how the ecology of a mind flayer works. It's fantastic.
My games are all about body horror, so that sold me.
Yeah,
it's just like, I'm in.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, very possible. It's a development that could happen because Illithids are all about high science, like evil science. They're mad scientists, really, and they experiment on living things. Will there be Githyanki? Maybe. I would say if there's mind flayers, there's got to be Githyanki somewhere in there. Yeah. Otherwise, that would be a great disservice. Yeah, for sure. And I really want to hear a Githyanki voice in a video to see what their interpretation of what they sound like. Weaponized cerebromorphosis, exactly. Haste magic, yeah, could be. I think also it would have more than 4 tentacles if it was an Ulitherad.
I think they're mind flayers.
Yeah. So it should have 6 tentacles, I think, if it's the ultimate form of an Illithid. But yeah, they tend to have really long tentacles as well. Also, the arcane ones, I think, have got really long tentacles. Yeah, I don't know. The lore may vary a little bit, but yeah, you're on the right track for sure. That would be a key sort of thing. Maybe that's part of it as well. We don't know. We're speculating. An Illithid curse, yeah, could be. Well, in many ways, Robert, that's a good point, that they haven't released a legit Spelljammer resource, but Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes has got a Spelljamming ship in the form of the Githyanki ship, which is a spacefaring type ship. They haven't gone the whole way of describing realm space and
it's coming. It's got to be coming.
yeah. So maybe this is a tentative step in the right direction where they're saying, because that's the filter, the layers, the onion layers of media that Wizard of the Coast operates in, and Hasbro. So Hasbro is putting out merchandise for us to snap up, like Disney, where they'll test the waters by putting out a video game, because they can always say, okay, that lore applies to the video game, but just the video game. And that's kind of the pecking order of lore that people who research stuff like me have to work through. It's like, did this just appear in a video game, or is this printed somewhere in a novel, or is this in an actual adventure supplement, or is this in an actual source book? And that's kind of the pecking order of lore. So if this trumps that, then that trumps that, then that trumps that. Yeah. I bet people just got triggered because I used the word Trump, but I actually used it in a proper context.
Yeah. Still,
if this beats that, yeah.
I'll start beeping every time you use it.
Yeah. Meh. 5D chess. Yeah. Cheese time. It was a war squid, not an illithid. Yeah, it was definitely accelerated. For sure.
A were squid.
Do I think they'll go with the Nautiloid travelling through space, the astral plane, or both? Probably both.
Yeah, it's a were squid, not an illithid. It's not the illithid attacking, it's Aquaman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're not actually illithids. They're spawn of Cthulhu. Triggered, activated attack mode.
Stand down, code 7.
The logic is sound, yeah. Oh, I'd love to see that, William. Illithids riding neolithids like they're sandworms. Oh, that would be awesome. It's like, you thought the boss fight was already pretty bad? Yeah, now he's riding a neolithid. 10th level illithid airborne contagion. Yeah, quite possible. Hey, bumbling bureaucrat. David Smith. Bass Hunter, nice to see you. You hope Disney doesn't buy D&D. Well, they're going to have a hard time getting it off Hasbro now. That's for sure. I'm fairly confident that Hasbro knows what it's doing. So like most, I think, American corporations, they assign executives budgets, and that's up to that executive, essentially on their head, to get the most bang for their budget.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a certain branch of them who are in charge of the D&D and Magic the Gathering franchise. And so Ravnica is like their toe in the water of seeing how D&D community and the Magic the Gathering community blend. Because I think for them, the Magic the Gathering community became quite toxic.
Yeah.
And problematic, you could say. Whereas the D&D community has got somewhat of a social renaissance going on. It's definitely more inclusive than it used to be.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
I mean, you look at the D&D Beyond website at the moment, they've got a rainbow in the logo. So, Pride Month.
I really, really need to get one of those shirts.
Yeah, that would be cool. Hey, thank you. Bills on...
Billions and billions.
Billions and billions. Nice. What are your thoughts on 5e rules system being translated into digital form in Baldur's Gate 3? Is it a system suited for video games? Yes, I do think it's a system suited for video games because of the bounded accuracy of the system. So in 4th edition, it was a gamified system that was cut everything into a card, basically. Yeah. You could play it as a card game. Yeah. 4th edition was fine by us. Let's get that clear. We played every single edition and loved every single edition. Well, apart from the original.
I've never played AD&D either.
You've never played AD&D?
Never.
I have all the books right there.
I know. It's like, well, you're never going to be played.
We could do one-on-one games at some point, if you wanted to. It'll be a good excuse to talk shop. So Ian's going to be helping me out at a later date with the big project.
Yeah.
Once I've finished all of the Monster Manual videos. Where were we?
I do have a question about the digital form in Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
Because rests have to exist. So do you just do you use all of your spells and then have like a 2-minute timer out and that counts as a short rest? Or
well, Baldur's Gate has always had, Baldur's Gate 2 has got a rest button.
Ah, okay.
So you essentially, if you're not currently being attacked, you can take a rest at any time in Baldur's Gate 2. At least in the Bane story that I'm playing at the moment. I'm finally playing Baldur's Gate 2. This is so topical. And it's hard. I'm playing it legit, and it's difficult. I was like, none of my companions ever live past the dungeon that I'm currently. I got out of the prison, but none of my companions survived. So I'm like in the city by myself, all alone.
Oh no!
Just a lonely female barbarian. Yeah, looking for adventure. And the system works perfectly fine, I think. And 5th edition's bounded accuracy means that there's not a lot of power creep. So you can face off against a lot of different monsters right early on in the game, and also low-level monsters are still relevant in the later stages of the game as well.
Yeah.
You just need to play with the numbers of creatures. That's all you got to do in 5th edition. It's so simple. And that makes perfect sense because that's what it's like in real life too. You know, you get into a street fight with one person, bad.
Yep.
You know, you get a street fight with 4 people against you.
Not so good.
I don't care how good you are, you can't fend off that many kicks or hits or, curb stomps or whatever the hell it is. So it's more reflective, I think, as a simulationist system of reality. Fantasy reality, anyway. Hey, thanks, Kajak. Get AJ. Apparently that VR D&D game is being made right now. They're working on VR maps and designs and focusing on animation and combat later. Excellent. I wonder if they'll have like a modular build system for it, so you can build dungeons and put people in it.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
You'd have a lot of people with impossible maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about in regard to D&D as a public forum as well, and the media attention that it's got these days, which we have to get used to, is the UK GameCon had a bit of controversy with a guy who was running a public game for pickup groups, so people, book a DM and sit down and play.
Yeah.
And he was playing a set adventure, except he, the characters in the story were basically a bunch of teenagers. And they got captured and stripped and smeared with poo or something like that. And all of the players at the table, some of them it was their first time playing D&D, and they were traumatized.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was totally against the terms of service.
Oh, God, that's awful.
Yeah. And this guy basically doubled down on it and said,
Yeah.
"Look, I've got recordings of the thing." So it was almost like he set out to do this to prove a point, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this got picked up by the BBC.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who were at the UK Game Expo Com thing, I don't think we're aware of this going on and stuff, and just sort of what a bombshell sort of thing this could be for the media. But it's greatly troubling. And also was troubling was the immediate response of a lot of the elders of the game who are kind of invested in these convention thingies, because that's been their venue for promoting the game for a long time, so they're less sort of media savvy and more sort of and their reaction to, as soon as this came out, before the full facts of both sides were sort of revealed, was to blackball this guy completely from the hobby, and ban him from all sorts of different conventions. And they were having this was Tim Kask who was messaging people, and Luke Gygax and various others was like, "Oh yeah, he's not welcome at GaryCon and stuff. He's out," which is fair enough. As individuals, they have the right to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fully.
But also as representatives of a public convention, that's a scary sort of precedent, because innocent until proven guilty should be a thing as well. But it doesn't seem to be in social media. So yeah, that's a bit of a worry. Still, man, if I was sitting across the table from that guy, if I was DMing a table next door and I heard that going on,
I'd be like, "Hey guys, come over and join this game."
I would be like, "Stop immediately! Stop!
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
What are you
doing?"
hey guys, we're killing goblins over here. Come join in.
Yeah. It's like, no, this is not D&D, guys. This guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
This is some sort of fetish.
Yeah. I'd be like, dude, that's not okay. It's not okay.
What's treasure type H?
Treasure type H
Yeah.
from
AD&D.
AD&D. I don't know. Let's have a look. Do I have... I've got a rule. I think I've got a
someone
rule.
was shouting at me to roll treasure type H.
Okay. I don't even know if I've got a monster manual. I've got... Oh, yeah, that's a Dungeon Master's... Oh, that's Player's Handbook. Do I have a DMG? No, I don't. I've just got the... I don't know if it is actually in... Because I've got the Monty Cook version of the Player's Handbook. I don't have the DMG for that. I could actually look it up. I've got a digital version.
Yeah, it's not important.
Nah. Never mind. Okay, so obviously I need to get another one of the books. Yeah. No, I'm a terrible player. Terrible. Awful.
Yeah, you're not the best.
I'm not the best.
Neither am I, though.
We both have our quirks, let's put it that way. We've been playing for a long time, so it's like we're like an old married couple, right? We have the same sort of circular arguments and stuff, and we do the same sort of crap.
Spiders under rocks.
Yeah, spiders, and so many in-jokes from the history of playing D&D together that we would be indecipherable to, hydrogen gas.
Hydrogen gas!
Yeah, people wouldn't understand what the hell we're talking about. Special guest has a nice beard. This is my friend Ian. DM to the DMs. Yeah, he's a Mind Flayer.
Secretly.
In disguise.
I'm a Mind Flayer sympathizer, which I'm not sure would work, because as soon as they took me over, I'd lose my identity. So...
Yeah, I mean, even as a thrall, it's not that great.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
The disenfranchised would love it, though. Oh, I hate my life. Oh, I'll give my life to something else.
Yeah.
Become a brand new person.
The thing is, you've got to talk to upper management. You've got to talk to the brain in the pool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just, you're just not playing.
Hey, can I keep my identity, maybe?
It's like, it's in here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's in the storage. That's the question. You miss AD&D 2nd edition. It's still there, man. There's so many people playing at Kick-Ass Duke. Honestly, you can find a game anytime. Also, those of you who want to stop by my Discord server, if you want to run a game there, absolutely, anytime. And that's probably the best chance you've got of gaming with me and Ian, actually. We run, because Ian lives in the city that I moved away from, we tune in over Discord every Tuesday night here in New Zealand and play for a couple of hours, 3 hours.
3 hours.
From 7 till 10.
Yeah. The others wouldn't be up for it, but you should totally put that on Twitch.
No. I never stream anything unless it's by the consent of everybody. I just want my hobbies to stay hobbies and politics to stay politics. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's everybody's right to run the game that they want to run. We're talking about like public events and things where, like it or not, if you run a game at a convention, you're under the public spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would be stupid to think that you're not being scrutinized by the media these days, because they're looking for any sort of outrage they can, because that's what sells. And we're just as we're culpable in that because we click on it. I joined my first games with people on the server, good and bad. Yeah, it's a crapshoot. It always is. I've started filling out a simple character sheet for my half-green dragon master bard and was wondering if you had any advice for his personality. Manipulative.
Oh, God, yes.
Absolutely manipulative. So con artist, sleazy car salesman is exactly how you play a half-green dragon, for sure.
Aren't green dragons always paranoid as well? Like
yeah,
they have to screw people over before people screw them over.
Yeah, exactly. That is their defensive mechanism.
Yeah.
So they are forest ambush predators who are super intelligent, and they get their kicks out of playing games with other people.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Green Dragons operate.
Also, if you're a bard, then you'll have the skills necessary to be able to convince people that everything is going according to plan. Don't show weakness. So if something surprising happens, then deceive people and go, this is exactly as I planned it.
Yeah. So specializing in illusion and enchantment magics.
Yeah.
To the bard, who's a half green dragon, it would be perfectly fine. Even if they're of a good alignment, manipulating people would not be seen as a bad thing.
No.
It's like, well, people can protect themselves, from that sort of thing. But I'm not doing anything bad to them. I'm just controlling their mind for a little bit. I'm not doing it to hurt them. I'm doing it to achieve a goal for the greater good. And the other people be like, well, you're taking over their free will. It's like, well, like,
whoa! I'm just borrowing. Them
yeah,
from
like lots of things control your free will in society. Like you can't just rob a shop, for instance, even if you wanted to. So they would justify it because they don't see anything wrong with it. Inherently, biologically, it's part of their nature.
I also imagine that you would, a character like that would be very good at convincing people to give them the valuables. Along the lines of, hey, that diamond ring that you have, I'm just going to borrow that for a bit because I can use it. I can utilize it much better than you can. For you, it's jewelry. For me, it's life-saving.
Yeah, I'm using this to help other people, whereas you're just using it to look pretty.
Yeah.
I need that to save orphans. Like, what sort of an awful people would you be if you did not give for the orphans? It's like that conversation we were having last night about manipulation and stuff, and that. You said I would make a great cult leader.
Yeah.
You can talk if you can get. I've always said if you can get somebody to believe one thing which is untrue, you can get you've got a shoe in the door, and you can get them to believe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, well, let's leave the politics with the politics.
Yeah, well, that's is it politics or religion?
Well,
both. It's both.
It's both.
Anyone know if Larian, Baldur's Gate 3, has a... would it be possible to use Baldur's Gate 3 as a module for D&D campaigns with assets, etc.? Oh, you mean if...
like with Neverwinter Nights?
Yeah. It'd be silly if they didn't have that sort of modularity in it, because we're a massively creative community, and I think Neverwinter Nights was a perfect incentive for companies to do that, because it had so much more value. However, how much return value to the company would that have? Because it was really a community. Like, if they were releasing mod packs as microtransactions, I would see that as okay because it's completely optional.
Yeah.
But it would definitely have, like, that is the best case model for a microtransaction that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Something that you can add to the game to get extra play out of it because you're motivated to, but it's not necessary for the enjoyment of the game just in general if you're a single player sort of thing. Or, yeah.
I would personally kind of hope that they wouldn't, because I'm really embarrassed to say the only reason I completed Neverwinter Nights is because I took the dev tools, made a room with a single item with a chest of haste plus extra spells plus this plus this plus this plus this.
Yeah.
Went into it, got it, went back into the normal game.
Yeah. You made what I call the explodey stick.
Yeah, it's like, oh cool. I
point my sword at something, it explodes.
I have infinite uses of level 20 Magic Missile Storm.
Yeah. So essentially, you made the walkthrough version, the story mode, the story mode of Neverwinter Nights. I think everybody's done that, and I think suffered for it because there's no challenge in the game after that.
So Baldur's Gate 3, it would be cool if they added it as a dev tool later, or maybe congratulations, you completed the game. Here's you've now unlocked making your own levels.
Yeah, or you can play through it again with a higher level character.
Yeah,
I do agree with that, actually. Like, you have to earn by going through it on full mode.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, it unlocks being able to go through in a story mode sort of way, or
being able to use it for your own devices.
Yeah,
because at that point you'll have been able to see the whole thing. You'll have an understanding of how the map interacts with each other, so you've got a better chance of making a good adventure. You know how in
Baldur's Gate there's the interactive comments to things, and it's usually just unlock the full menu of things they have, which is, I think, annoying. I think it's bad. It's poor design to have that, so it's like, look, just run through the conversation. I don't want to have to like go through and ask question after question question after question.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the same options over and over again. What if, so every option you had twists the story in a certain direction, so you might not get information if you ask that question first.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But on a playthrough, when you're playing through the story again, it would highlight what your previous choices were.
Oh, wow.
Right? And then you could play through a different version of the story.
Or if it's an online version, what did everyone choose?
Right, yeah. What's the percentage values next to those?
Yeah. 58% of people didn't kill the child.
I wonder why. Oh, that unlocks Half Green Dragon Bard. What do you know?
Someone was asking, I wonder what the instrument for Green Dragon Bard would be, and I bet it would be the sort of stand-up comedian style where you're mocking the audience. You get an audience member and you just mock the hell out of them.
Stand-up comedy should be a bardic
stand-up comedy and satire.
Yeah. No, I think it would be a woodwind like a flute.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so easy to make in a forest.
True.
Stick. Also, it just sort of lends itself to a forest situation. Yeah. It's easy to make flute.
And humiliations.
Yeah. Sass.
Yeah, sass.
Any thoughts about ley lines in D&D? I
love ley lines.
We were
in
talking
D&D.
about this last night as well,
Yeah.
because Ian is motivated to do his own YouTube series.
Yep.
And we won't give any spoilers to that because you may change your mind on the subject and stuff. I think you pretty much said it though.
I am sad.
So we were talking about Karatua and geomancy and Matt Mercer's new magic system that he's been talking about. Dunamancy, which is very much in tune with that. It's like magic as an environmental energy, almost like the Force sort of thing. So with everything, magic in Faerun, for instance, is a weave. So it's a flow that is protected by a god, Mystra.
Yep.
So that you can't disrupt the natural order around you because she limits that. She's protecting the world and its natural environment from the disruptions of spellcasting, because spellcasting uses whatever energy is available. So she's codified that, and she's also placed limits on it over Faerun, the continent of Faerun particularly, where you can't cast spells over 9th level. You can't create a volcano in the middle of somebody's town, for instance, which is one of the 10th level spells. So yeah, it's definitely tied in with it. And I think a lot of there's sacred sites and all that sort of stuff. I think it's like, if you go to Europe, for instance, all of the cathedrals and things like that, the major sort of religious icon places, basilicas and things, are built over ancient standing stone sites and things like that. So they're built on ley lines. And that was a deliberate attempt by the prevailing religious order to take over the old religious order, and legitimize themselves by being on these places where people naturally went to worship anyway. So where they congregated, that was obviously where the religion became. That was their hotspots, their advertising space.
Ley lines also, like Mystra has the weave, and the weave is just basically a manipulation of the pre-existing field that I might be going into in the video. So there's some really old lore in D&D, canon lore in D&D, which is not talked about, and there's a word that people would not have heard for a very long time. But I'll leave that for you to unveil. I'll be linking to Ian's first video later on anyway, so well, that's only fair. Any advice on thanks KJ, any advice on how to increase the power of command undead for a necromancer that wants to focus on raising powerful undead instead of hordes? I would say instead of applying to extra undead, it would apply to extra hit dice of monster. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's how I would run it, because that seems entirely fair, a good exchange.
Yeah. You'd have to have some sort of limitation, because a lot of the greater undead have the ability to create hordes by themselves. So you wouldn't want the spell to become a cheat. You wouldn't want to cheat. Go, I'm gonna have a single powerful undead instead of hordes of stuff, but I'm gonna make it a vampire so that the vampire can make heaps and heaps of hordes. Yeah,
because the cheat there, the obvious one, is if you command your vampire master to then use his actions to command the undead hordes that he's in control
You're having
of,
your cake and eating it too.
Yeah, so you're not using up your actions to command a horde of undead, which is how the game is designed to limit that sort of power.
Yeah.
But if you're playing a solo adventure where you're a single necromancer and a single DM running through a scenario,
Oh yeah, then absolutely.
then absolutely use that. Yeah. So there's a caveat there where certain styles of play, you can do that sort of power gaming. It's perfectly legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't want to overshadow other players too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what the spells are designed around in 5th
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be like go around the table, get to the necromancer. It's like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what's your second zombie doing?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, can you blah, blah, and it's like all these rule arbitrations and stuff, and everybody else will be on their cell phones.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
As soon as someone takes out the cell phone, you've lost them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, unless the character sheet is on their cell phone. I don't judge.
True.
You'd rather have an army, yeah. Absolutely. Thoughts? We talked about this, the trailer of the Baldur's Gate 3, Cameron. We're in favour of it, is the synopsis.
Body horror.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've theorised that what we saw in the trailer is possible. Do Dracoliches need to feed souls to their phylactery? If not, what about half-dragons, dragonborn liches? I don't think Dracoliches have phylacteries.
No.
No, they don't.
Because they're not created in like normal liches have to do a ritual and everything because they don't have the inherent power to be able to just spontaneously turn into a humano lich, for example.
Yeah, so Dracoliches were a specific enchantment that was created by the Archwizard Samaster. So he started the whole thing, but he also ended the Draco Rage as well.
Yeah.
So he's doomed the world of Toril to be taken over by dragons again. Dracoliches are a special case, so they, if their body gets destroyed, they can just take over another deceased dragon's body, essentially. Whereas liches can, in the old days, liches could have prepared bodies that they would take over again if their body became
Clone
decayed.
spell.
Yeah, they can also exist as demi-liches, which in many ways are more powerful than liches, because they're more of an energy-based spirit entity. And they, in the old days, they had bodies they were prepared, but otherwise these days they just reform a new body, sort of thing. So as long as you're feeding spirits into their phylactery, they have the power to reform a body or maintain the body that they have in a juicy condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they would, other than appearance, but who cares? If you can't feel anything, who cares what you look like? Just wear a mask.
Dracoliches do have phylacteries, says
They
William
do?
Jackson.
Oh, thank you.
Well, in that case, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Why have a phylactery if you're not feeding souls into it? It's like, why have a lawnmower if you're not cutting grass?
Yeah.
Particularly half green dragon bards, liches. Could you have a bardic lich? That's a form of spellcaster.
True, yes.
So you've got to be at least level 11. You've got to be able to cast 9th level spells.
Yep.
Can bards do that? Cross-class bard, maybe.
No, I think bards in 5th edition have 9th level spells.
So yeah, you could have a bard lich. Sounds like a swear word. You bard lich.
Bard lich.
Yeah, no, I trust you on that one, William, for sure. You are very up on the law. In fact, if I have any questions about elven law, William is the person that I talk to.
Look, let's stop the stream and just watch your Dracolich video again.
So the Dracolich video, I think, is one of the videos that I need to redo, possibly?
Okay, well, yeah, obviously you do, because you think they don't have phylacteries.
I know so much, I've forgotten everything.
Credibility dropping.
Yeah. Know so much about AD&D, he's like D&D, he's forgotten stuff that you don't know. So yeah, the 76 videos that I need to redo includes all of the original dragon videos, all of the original giant videos, trolls. What else?
I still want you to do ecology of the animals.
Yeah, that's something else I need to do for the completeness of the monster manual. I need to talk about bats and that sort of stuff.
How do hawks survive?
Yeah,
hunting rabbits.
we
when
had
there's
this long
hippogriffs?
conversation about the fact that cats in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition don't have night vision. Oh, we're like,
Yeah.
what? No dark vision? What?
No light. No low light vision.
Why? Why would cats in D&D not have low light vision? Because they don't hunt at nighttime. Because they don't want to
So many
die.
monsters.
Yeah, and also the fact that on the Earth that we're used to, you can predict what sort of animals are going to be in an area based on its climate and geography. You can't do that in Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons has got a much more varied bio system. So because there's so many super predators and there's all sorts of different weird prey species, there's interdimensional effects, there's ancient magical effects, there's
Yep.
emanations from dead dragons, there's
Ancient kingdoms.
hauntings, all this sort of stuff. It influences the ecosystem so greatly that it's a mosaic of different environments. So literally, it lends itself both biologically, it makes sense, and from a world building point of view, it makes sense. From a historical and lore point of view, it makes sense, particularly in the Forgotten Realms. And from an adventuring story writing point of view, it makes sense that as you progress from one bit of the wilderness to the next, you roll on the random encounter table because it's like, well, if there was a manticore in this area, how come the people in the village down there didn't know about it? Because they don't come here. Why?
Yeah.
Because they know more about their local environment than you do. Guess what? There's no house cats in this area. Maybe you should have been on the lookout for house cats. You know, oh, there's house cats in this area. Oh, well, there might be flumps nearby.
Yeah.
It's like, man, the local ranger knows everything. Yeah, just in this 20-mile area, and it's like he could fill a book with the stuff he knows about this.
And call it the monster manual.
It's like, don't pick that flower. Why? Because if you pick that flower, we'll get manticores in this area. What? It's like, yeah, because these things eat those flowers, and like that thing eats these, and that one which eats those things keeps the manticore out of this area.
You thought Earth bioculture was precarious.
Yeah, so rangers in D&D run the risk of being eccentric,
Yeah.
quirky, you know. Druids will be like, oh, no. You can't cut down that tree. Why? Because it will destroy your village, that's why. So I'm going to stop you by any means necessary. But it's a willow tree. But I've got a Christmas thing, you know. Have I done a Banderhob video? No, I haven't, because that's in... Is it in Mordenkainen's Time of Volo's? I think it's in Volo's guide. I haven't done the Banderhob yet.
Is Banderhob the frog things that eat dreams?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an old 3rd edition picture of a child sleeping with a Banderhob drooling over it.
Yeah, it's a horrible picture.
I love it.
And it's also huge. Where is
Yeah.
Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, Volo's guide. See if I'm correct in my assumption.
Ultimately, Dragon Turtle, we don't know, sorry.
122. Yep, I was right on the money. What about?
I just thought that since they have so much elemental energy, they might not need to feed souls into the phylactery to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my knowledge comes from previous editions and from books, like the Spellfire series. That Dracolich, I don't think had a phylactery.
So this is a slightly different picture of Banderhob. It's still much bigger than a human.
Yeah.
It's a large monstrosity. It's got a human arm sticking out of its mouth.
Fun.
It's kind of squinting like it's like... Like, that is not dentition built for chewing, for sure. So it's a gulping monster. Birthed by hags.
Oh, wow.
In the earliest days of the world, a coven of night hags devised a ritual that led to the creation of the first Banderhob. A hag that knows the ritual might be willing to teach it for the right price. That right price would be, what, children?
Chill.
Your firstborn
Maidens
maidens?
to drink their essence.
Poison
Skeksis style.
poison the local orphanage well?
Yeah.
Something like that.
An act of evil.
Yeah, an act of evil. Some other dark fae and powerful fiends also know of the process and do a few mortal mages. Instructions might also be found in a tome devoted to debased wizardry. So one of the things I wanted to talk about also is, what is a dark fae?
I would assume a fae that just goes out of its way to screw people. I don't know. What's the difference between a dark fae and a good fae sometimes?
Right. So, dark ones, quicklings, hags, those are dark fae, right? But you can also have dark fae pixies. You can also have dark fae elves in Eladrin. Eladrin can be servants of dark powers, the Dark Court. And it's normally like because they're disfigured or ugly or they've had something bad happen to them, so they don't want to be a member of the good court of goodly creatures. And also those who aren't in tune with the court of the good fae,
Yeah.
which is, Queen Titania and Oberon and that's those guys. So it's like it's almost politics in a way. So it's not so much it's inherently an evil creature. It might be a member of the Dark Court per se, just because it doesn't agree with the policies of this or that.
Yeah, in my campaign, often the dark fae, like we have the Seelie, and they're the nice fae, or at least the fae who will still screw over mortals, but not go out of their way, have limits.
Yeah.
Seelie have limits as to what they'll do. The dark fae for me are the ones that have been thrown out of the court and will do whatever they can to get back in.
Yeah. And in many ways you can have it like the Seelie are the nerds,
Yeah.
the geeks,
Yep.
the nice ones, the book smart, and they're quite often the pretty ones.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite mesh up with like high school storytelling thing.
They're the ones that grow up in Canterlot.
Yeah. But the unseelie are the nasty, the ones who don't have empathy for others.
Yeah.
And they're quite often ugly. So it's like it's a little bit uncomfortable these days because it's like, well, these are the pretty ones and these are the ugly ones.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. It can be that simple in a Feywild campaign.
There was who are the Quarry are the good ones, right? In Eberron, they're the good dream selves. The Quarry, or are they the bad ones?
Oh yeah. Yes, they are.
They're the good ones.
Yeah, and the evil ones are the
Dalkir?
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger is a Dalkir.
Yeah, exactly.
And they asked up there, how would you interpret Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street? He is 100% a Dalkir.
Yep. He's also a he's not a spectre. He's not a spectre. He's quite an interesting form of undead.
He's almost the embodiment of a hag nightmare.
Yeah, there's a form of demon, which is the newest race of demons, actually. They're not Tanari, they're a form of dream demon. They came about because somebody tried to destroy a plane of the abyss. So it was a pantheon of gods, went out on the warpath to destroy an entire plane of the abyss.
Wow. And
they didn't realize that the abyss was actually alive, and it turned around and it kicked their ass. And it killed them so bad that their divine psyches got turned into a race of demons.
Ooh, ouch.
Right?
It's gonna suck for them.
That's the origin of the book, and various others that are in, I think, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Yeah.
There's these dream demons and stuff. That's, so I'm going to be definitely doing a video about that because that's quite an interesting bit. Who's this? This is Ian. Ian the Mind Flayer.
It's never going to get old.
Yeah, it's different from the morality of humans, for sure. Yeah. It's story time. It's fairy tale. That's exactly what the Feywild is supposed to be. It's Rapunzel and Little Red Riding Hood and Snow White and also the darker, grim fairy tales. Yeah, where people get chopped open and grannies get swallowed whole by wolves and stuff and seem to live inside wolf stomachs or some such.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, Steely Fae are diurnal, so existing during the daytime, lawful, neutral, or lawful good, while the Unseelie are nocturnal, chaotic, neutral, or chaotic evil.
Yeah, we missed the obvious thing that Dark Seelie are just the ones that like the nighttime.
Yeah. It's literally light and dark.
harp and walking stick because shillelagh is already a cantrip and I'm proud of my Irish heritage. That's cool.
There are ritual magics to become fiends and devils and other outsiders. Yeah. So that's the other thing with devils and demons. We know that, say, like Orcus, for instance, who's a demon lord, was once immortal. So he didn't have an origin in, so he's not really a Tanari. He didn't have an origin in the Obrith universe. So there's ancient evil souls from another universe which form the demon lords and stuff, and those who created the Tanari, and the Tanari are souls drawn from that body that sort of makes up the abyss. It's complicated.
So Lolth was the extra universal entity?
No, Lolth is, she's spent so much time in the abyss that she's got a condo there, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
she's the demon queen of the abyss,
Right.
Of spiders and stuff, because she hangs out there and she has business with demons all the time. But
cool.
she's not technically a demon. She's not from another multiverse.
Okay.
She is a god. She was a member of the Elven pantheon, so she was not evil. Well, I guess she's always been bad, but once upon a time she was a member of the clique. You know? She was Corellian Lorathian's squeeze, and then they kind of had a polyamorous thing going on actually, and then she turned bad. She tried to kill them, and they didn't believe that she was trying to kill them at the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey man, if you keep stabbing me, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna get hurt here."
Yeah, and she's like, "I know."
This is.
It's like, oh. Okay, I'm getting really angry now.
Yeah.
I thought the first stab was for fun. It's like, what sort of games are you guys into?
Hello, Pantheon.
Ian, the mind player. Yeah. Can you cast 4th level polymorph on yourself, the caster? Yeah, you can. I believe so. We've got precedent. I was just talking about that last night. In the... What's the novel that I'm reading? Could you grab that novel that I'm reading? So this is one of the Driss series by R.A. Salvatore. This is Siege of Darkness, and this is case in point of how you can use polymorph to protect yourself against mind flayers. It's really interesting. So you can polymorph yourself, keep your outside looking human, but actually rearrange your internal organs. So we've got evidence that is possible, and I don't see any reason why not to.
Yeah. It's an interesting point when you go, I cast polymorph on myself and turn into a bird, because then you have a bird's intelligence. You keep the beast's intelligence. You don't get to keep your own. So I would at least be making them make intelligence checks to maintain concentration.
Yeah. The other question is like, okay, so where does all the extra mass and stuff go? So
Magic.
yeah. So you create a pocket dimension which is traveling with you, which contains your extra mass and stuff. So is your intellect and stuff stored in there?
Oh, like the trailer with Optimus Prime.
Right. So the other thing is in historical fantasy fiction, like for instance Magician by Raymond E. Feist, if you stay too long in a polymorphed animal shape, you become that animal eventually. You start, it'll mess you up.
Terry Pratchett had that with burrowing.
Yeah, exactly. And I see that as completely legit. Like, that makes sense from a story point of view, because it's interesting. Like, oh no, you've got stuck in this shape. I might turn into an actual hawk.
Yeah.
Or in the case of, again, that novel that I'm just reading, one of the Harple wizards, Bidadoo, he had a magical mishap where he drank what?
Someone asked how many thralls I have.
Thralls.
I have 5 players.
Yeah.
Continue.
I'm not one of them at the moment. So Bidadoo got transformed into a dog for a long time. He was the family dog of the Harples, and they actually argued whether they should turn him back into a human or not because he was such a good dog. But then in this novel, he's in a massive big battle, and he's just been returned to human form, and he's casting spells and stuff, but he also turns into a werewolf.
Yeah.
Because his emotions trigger a transformation into a dog again.
Okay.
So yeah, and he gets freaked out and he starts howling, and then he bites a kobold in the neck, and he just happens to be with a battle rager dwarf at the time, and the battle rager dwarf is like, good technique.
Yeah.
It's like, I should bite the neck out of some kobolds. AJ, yeah, I did run a Pixie campaign. Ian was in that Pixie campaign.
It was one of the best campaigns ever.
Yeah. It was a weird campaign.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time just drifting, but like it was the crossing over between the Feywild and the natural world was natural for you guys.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 maps on the same board sort of
Yeah.
thing, where it just made sense that yes, this is a reflection of this world and they interact with each other, but there's supposed to be a separation between the two, and this wizard is messing it up. So you guys went and messed up that wizard something chronic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time took out a Fomorian kingdom as well.
I mean, we invented beholders.
Yeah, exactly. They invented beholders and eventually became the mafia of Sigil.
Yeah. Or sigil.
Sigil. No. Only if you're not from there. Love your dragon videos, especially Dragonborn. Thank you, Jovi. So it's almost time for us to go.
Wow.
I
That
know.
went quick.
It does go quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Afterwards, you'll get the same feeling as having just DM'd a really intense game. Does your brain feel a bit fuzzy?
It does a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Matt Nerdy. How's it going? Thanks for your comments, man. I really appreciate them. When that knight threw up and started mutating, thought he was changing into a were-rat. Yeah, so did I. Because the hands and stuff were changing so quickly. Didn't notice the teeth in his hand until about the 3rd time I watched that clip. Yeah, when he went "Bwah!" like that, and the blood came out. That was teeth in his hand. Oh, that was a nice touch.
Oh, it was good. Good job.
Because so many people have dreams that they're losing their teeth. It's so funny. Who would win, Mind Flayers or the Elder Things from Lovecraft? The Mind Flayers.
Really?
Yeah.
I went the other way.
Did you?
Yeah, Elder Things.
I think given enough time, the Mind Flayers would turn it to their advantage. Because they are the Elder Things from H.P. Lovecraft.
I guess. The Elder Things, though, they're pretty powerful. I mean, they take over humanity just because they're bored.
Also, they exist in a different time frame. So they've invented their own... They've bootstrapped themselves into existence by...
Actually, yeah, thinking about it, there are signs and rituals and stuff which can keep the Elder Gods at bay. So all